Okay, concept number 3, we're still continuing with the factoring trinomials, only this time we're dealing with trinomials where the leading coefficient is not 1. So this is a little bit trickier, but it still depends on what we learned before. So our objective this time is I can factor quadratics of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so that is our objective today. Okay. So we use a different method than the factoring trinomials where this is just 1. Okay, we still use our little crisscross and we still find values of b and 2 numbers and stuff, but this time we have to add another number in it. Okay, so if a cannot be factored out of this whole thing by a GCF, we use a method called slip and slide. And I'm going to be modifying this a little bit because I haven't taught this way before, so I'll teach you the way that I usually teach it. Okay, so step 1 will stay the same. Slip a to the end of the trinomial and multiply by c. So you're really going to multiply a and c together. Okay? And then we're going to cross out step number 2. We're not going to factor that basic trinomial. We're not going to divide. And we're not going to do this. Okay, so the only thing we're going to do is step 1. This is the only new thing we're going to do, is multiplying a and c together. Okay? So, what you're going to want to do is, you're going to draw your little X puzzle here. Okay? On the top, you're still going to have multiply, but this time it's a times c. So this is where memorizing multiplication really comes in handy and really helps you factor these quickly. Okay, so on the top is going to be a times c, and on the bottom we're going to add to b. Okay, so this one, a little arrow and write multiply, and this one we're going to add. So that doesn't change. Okay. The only thing we're adding is we're multiplying a and c together. Okay? So this is still basically the same, but there's another way I'm going to teach you how to do this, okay? So we'll do example number 1 and 3 together, and then all of the odds together in this video, okay? So just like we normally do, we're going to do only the odds together. Then we'll do the evens in class. Okay, so this one, it says factor 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So let's draw our little X puzzle. A times C goes on the top and B goes on the bottom. So this is A, B, and C. Okay, so A times C is 6 and B is 5. So the two things that multiply together to be 6 and add together to be 5, well, they happen to just give them to us. It's 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So now here's a new way I want you guys to try this. You're going to draw a box, a 2 by 2 box. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to have your first term here, 2x squared, your last term in the bottom right, and then these two numbers, that's right. These two numbers here go in the middle and you attach an x to them. Okay? So it doesn't matter what order these go in. And we're going to do this multiple times, okay? Multiple times. Now the whole point of this box is to get us to try and figure out what do things have in common. What can I factor out here? So what do these two have in common? What's their GCF? Hopefully you thought 2x because 2x would be correct. Okay, what do these two have in common? A 3, right? Okay, what do these two have in common? Or, if this is confusing, what do these two have in common? I have a 2x here, I want to get to 2x squared. What do I multiply this by to get to 2x squared? That would be an x, okay? All right. So yeah, if you can't think of what two things have in common, just ask yourself, what do I multiply this by to get here? 2x times what equals 2x? Well, 1. Look at that, you have your factors now. These things here are your factors. We just factored it. So our factors for this are 2x plus 3. Gosh, I keep breaking my pencil. And x plus 1. I know it's positive because it's not negative. Okay? Let's do one more. Let's do another example. Okay? We're still going to draw our little x puzzle. For this one, we have 6y squared minus 5y minus 4. So we are multiplying the first number and the last number together. So 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. We're going to try and multiply to negative 5. This is where we start thinking, what are some numbers that we can multiply to? Remember, if this is negative and this is negative, I would have a positive and a negative. Okay. So 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8. I think 3 and 8 might be a winner. So out of those two, 3 would be positive and 8 would be negative because 3 minus 8 is negative 5. And those two multiplied together make to negative 24, so those work perfectly. Okay. All right. We're going to set it up exactly the same like we did up here. Our first term goes in the top left. Our last term goes in the bottom right. Okay, and these two numbers in the middle, I'll draw little arrows. This one goes here, and this one goes here. And you attach a variable to it. Okay, and we'll do a foldable with this on there so you can look at it more easily. Okay, so now we start factoring. What do these two have in common? Hopefully you think a 3y. 3y is what they have in common. And then these two, they both have a negative 4 in common. Okay? So now I can think, well, what's 6y squared divided by 3y? Or this times what gives me 6y squared? Hopefully you thought 2y. Okay? And then finally, 3y times what gives me 3y? That's a 1. All right? So our factors are 3y minus 4 times 2y plus 1. Okay? So it's a little bit of an introduction into how we factor this. In the next video, we're going to actually go through all the examples together.